Forget ninjutsu, genjutsu or taijutsu. Naruto's greatest technique, straight up motivational speeches.
He may mean nothing to you, pervy sage, but Sasuke is my friend!
No matter how evil, traumatized or genocide a villain is, one heartfelt talk from Naruto and boom, they are suddenly questioning all their life choices.
I've told you my story just as you asked. Now let's hear your response.
Gaara became Kazekage. Nagato revived an entire village. Obito decided world domination was probably a bad idea. Sasuke, well, it took a bit longer, but Naruto eventually got through to him too. At this point, Naruto should have skipped being Hokage and just opened a self-help seminar. It's rooted in empathy, aka Naruto the therapist. Naruto doesn't just lecture his enemies. That would be too easy.
Brother, what's that?
He understands them. He relates to them. He looks them dead in the eye and says, hey, I was lonely, misunderstood child with unresolved trauma. Let's cry about it together. And somehow it works. Instead of throwing hands, his enemies start having an existential crisis in the middle of battle. Next thing you know, they are apologizing, changing their ways, and probably joining Naruto's ever-growing squad of redeemed villains. Basically, Naruto's power is psychological warfare. Who needs to dodge attacks when you can just emotionally destroy your opponent?
Emotional damage!
Naruto doesn't just fight, he ruins your sense of self, makes you reflect on your past mistakes, and forces you into an identity crisis right then and there. Pain spent years perfecting his ideology of suffering. Naruto claps back with a speech about love and friendship, and suddenly Pain is like, damn, maybe I did overreact a little. Madara probably would have fallen for it too if Naruto had gotten to him in time. Instead, he had to be taken out the old-fashioned way, by betrayal.
Wake up to reality. Nothing ever goes as planned in this accursed world. The longer you live, the more you will realize that the only things that truly exist in this reality are merely pain, suffering, and futility. Listen, everywhere you look in this world, wherever there is light, there will always be shadows to be found as well. As long as there is a concept of victors, the vanquished will also exist. The selfish intent of wanting to preserve peace initiates wars, and hatred is born in order to protect love. There are nexuses, causal relationships that cannot be separated.
Naruto's power, it turns villains into besties. Most shonen protagonists defeat their enemies and move on. Naruto, he doesn't do that. He recruits them. Talk no Jutsu doesn't just stop the fight. It flips the script and turns the villain into an ally. Gaara went from bloodthirsty psycho to one of Naruto's closest allies. Nagato went from wiping out villages to literally resurrecting an entire one. Obito went from destroying the world to helping save it. At this point, if Naruto had just talked to Orochimaru long enough, the guy would have ended up running a daycare. Naruto's talk no jutsu. It is unstoppable. Literally, no one can resist. There is no defense against talk no jutsu. No jutsu, no chakra shield. Not even years of deeply ingrained hatred can stop it. You could be the final boss, the mastermind of the century-old war, or the most emotionally damaged character in the series. Naruto will still get through to you. If this ability existed in real life,
oh my god! Wow!
world peace would have been achieved years ago. Naruto's talk no jutsu. It is true ultimate move. Forget Sage Mode. Forget Kurama. Forget all the Rasengan variant. Naruto's real ultimate technique isn't flashy. It's just a heartfelt monologue about believing in yourself. This man convinced an entire generation of villains to switch sides without even throwing a punch. If that is not overpowered, I don't know what is. Naruto talk no jutsu. It has permanent effects, unlike a Rasengan, which just knocks someone into next week. Talk no jutsu sticks forever. Once Naruto rewires your brain, there's no going back. Villains don't just stop fighting, they completely change their entire life philosophy. It's so powerful that even after multiple betrayals, Sasuke still couldn't escape its effects. He just had to come back for the final Naruto vs Sasuke showdown, only to admit, after years of denial, that maybe Naruto did have a point all along. Conclusion: the true god tier ability is Naruto's talk no jutsu. It isn't just a plot device, it's an unstoppable force of nature. It is the ultimate weapon, the new final boss, and the one thing stronger than any jutsu in the series. In a world of gods, monsters, and reality warping powers, Naruto wins fights with the power of friendship species. So yeah, I stand by it. Talk no jutsu is overpowered and no one can change my mind unless, of course, you hit me with some talk no jutsu of your own.